How this NBA player became homeless. Imagine going from making game-winning shots with LeBron James to being on the streets without a home. How does a player with so much potential, like Delonte West, fall so far? Not only is his story about basketball, but it's also a powerful story of triumph, battle, and the fight against mental illness. Come with us as we look into Delonte's amazing rise, his shocking fall, and the amazing events that helped him find hope again. Are you ready to find out the truth about how he changed so dramatically? When it comes to professional sports, stories of success and triumph often make the news. We hear about athletes who come from nothing and become famous and rich, making millions of dollars and inspiring people all over the world. That being said, there are also stories of battle and fall, which show that the way to success can be hard. One of these stories is that of NBA player Delonte West, who went from being a very good player to being homeless. Life in the beginning and problems. West was born in Washington, D.C. on July 26, 1983. Growing up in a troubled place, he had to deal with big problems early on. He had a hard and unstable youth because his parents split up when he was young. People picked on Delonte because of his bright red hair, and he often felt like he didn't fit in with his friends. In the midst of all the chaos, basketball became this safe place, a source of identity and joy that let him escape the harsh facts of his life. But when Delonte was 12, he had a terrible setback. He hurt his leg badly and couldn't play for months. Not only did this accident make him lose his love for basketball, but it also made him depressed. His mother chose to send him to live with his dad to help him get better. Unfortunately, this change didn't help him. His father didn't care about Delonte's problems, and the new school put him in touch with bad people who led him to try drugs and alcohol, which was a dangerous road. Even with all of these problems, Delonte got back on track on the basketball court. Once he got to high school, he became a star player and scored over 20 points every game. He became a powerful figure because of how talented he was. Delonte's time at St. Joseph's University solidified his reputation as a great player, especially when he teamed up with future NBA star Jameer Nelson to make a powerful backcourt pair. Together, they helped the Hawks win 30 games and put Delonte's name on the NBA's map. Getting into the NBA, the Boston Celtics picked Delonte with the 24th pick in the 2004 NBA draft, making his dream come true. In the beginning of his professional job, things looked good, but soon he started getting hurt, which slowed him down. Even with these failures, Delonte didn't give up. In 2008, he was moved to the Cleveland Cavaliers, where he could play with LeBron James, who is a legend in the NBA. There were some great moments during Delonte's time with the Cavaliers, but it was also the start of a rough time in his life. He yelled at peers during the preseason, which made people worry about his mental health. He was given a bipolar illness diagnosis after getting help, which explained his emotional ups and downs. He began getting help, but the problems did not end there. While riding his motorcycle in Washington, D.C. in September 2009, Delonte was pulled over with 3 guns on him. The event got a lot of attention and made people worry about his health. Despite getting a pretty light sentence of house arrest and community work, this was the start of a downward spiral. This is the fallout. As the 2009 to 2010 season went on, problems within the Cavaliers team got worse. During the playoffs, Delonte's rumored affair with LeBron's mother made headlines and took attention away from how well the team played. In the end, the Cavaliers were shocked to lose to the Boston Celtics in the playoffs, and the reports made things even worse between team members. After that, Delonte was moved to the Minnesota Timberwolves, but was let go soon after. These events were a big turning point in his career, and it was hard for him to get back on track in the NBA. He briefly found a home with the Boston Celtics during the 2010-11 season, but his play got worse, and the team let him go. Delonte was desperate for a chance, so he signed a 1-year deal with the Dallas Mavericks for the 2011-2012 season. But the NBA layoff during the offseason made things more expensive. He had a lot of debt because he couldn't handle his money well, and because of that, Delonte was in a terrible situation. He couldn't pay his bills and had to work at Home Depot during the layoff. This time was the start of Delonte's problems with being homeless. He used to live in a $1 million home, but now he slept in his car, and even in the Mavericks locker room. Even though Mavericks owner Mark Cuban helped Delonte find a place to live, he still had to deal with his inner problems. It's called the downward spiral. Delonte's mental health problems came back in the next season. After losing his cool during preseason games, He was banned more than once for behavior that hurt the team. Because of these events, he was fired from the Mavericks, which ended his NBA career. Dellant's life changed a lot in the years that followed. He played in the G League and even some foreign leagues, but he never got back to where he wanted to be. Fans began to worry about his health when he stopped being seen in public in 2016. A friend took a picture of Dellant looking messy at a gas station, which was the first sign of trouble. People were worried about the picture, but it wasn't until 2020 that the seriousness of his position became clear. A disturbing video came out that showed Dellant being beaten up in the street. The pictures were shocking, and they made people in the sports world talk about mental health. A request for help. In September 2020, a sad picture of Dellant carrying a cardboard sign that said, "Help," went viral. He was seen on the streets of Dallas. A lot of people in the NBA world felt something about the picture. Fans, past teammates, and players all came together to support Dellant and ask for help. Some people, like LeBron James, said they wanted to help Dellant and even offered to pay for his rehab. But it was hard to find Dellant because he seemed to have fled again, making many people worry about his safety and well-being. Mark Cuban went out of his way to find Dellant. He called him a lot and coordinated attempts to find him. After a few days, Mark was able to get in touch with Dellant and set up a meeting at a gas station. With Cuban's help, Dellant was able to get the help he really needed, a fresh start. Since this intervention, Dellant has been on the road to healing. Mark Cuban shared news on social media that showed Dellant was feeling better. Reports said that he had found work at a recovery center, where he could help other people who were going through the same things. Dellant's story is a strong reminder of how important it is to talk about mental health, especially in sports. Even though he had problems, his story of going from having a bright NBA career to being homeless and back again shows how strong the human spirit is. For example, Dellant's story shows how important it is to ask for help, fight the stigma around mental illness, and help people who need it. The story of Dellant West shows how fame and success can change quickly. He made it to the NBA, which was his dream, but the stress and problems he had to deal with hurt his mental health and personal life. He has started to rebuild his life though, with the help of friends, past teammates, and fans. Dellant's story isn't just about basketball. It's also about having strength, making things right, and the power of community. Many people can relate to his story, which reminds us that everyone, no matter what, deserves kindness and understanding. As we think about Dellant West's story, let's remember how important mental health is and how people who are struggling need ongoing help, both in and out of sports. If you found Dellant West's story as inspiring as we did, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Join our community for more incredible stories, deep dives into the lives of your favorite athletes, and discussions on mental health and resilience.